following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah, go Cowboys!
This is Mick Shots, streaming live on DallasCowboys.com and the official Dallas Cowboys app. Now, here are Bill Jones, Everson Walls, and Mickey Spagnola.
There you go.
Go, Dallas Cowboys! It's the go team of the senior pros.
Great.
They're tight. They're tight.
I wonder if Tommy Loy was in the horn section there.
Those are tight.
We're going way back.
Just 40 or 50 years.
That's right. And here we are, a Victory Tuesday inside the SWBC podcast studio at the Star in Frisco. Bill Jones, Mickey Spagnola, and former Dallas Cowboy and New York football giant Everson Walls.
I wasn't thinking that last night at
You
all.
aren't? No, not at all.
No, not at all.
Like when you watch a Cowboys-Giants game, you just purge it from your memory that you were once a New York Giant.
I always remember that particular team. So I just keep it like that.
There you go.
Yeah.
That
my
year,
love for
that
the
team.
my love for the Giants is finite.
All right. It's just it's a Super Bowl Giants team, right? That's right. Well, this is not a Super Bowl Giants team, and the Cowboys took care of those previously unbeaten Giants. I was listening to New York Sports Talk Radio on the way in today, and they're now back on Aaron Judge watch.
They're not
in
happy,
New York.
right?
That's right. Yep. So here we are. It's a 2-game win streak for your Dallas Cowboys with the Washington Commanders coming in on a short week. We got plenty to talk about, and I know, Mickey, you have several legal pads filled
I do.
with notes from last night's
And all
game.
I can say is those folks in New York should have just asked us. We would have told them what the outcome of this
That's
game
right.
was.
We were close, weren't we?
We went 3-0.
Okay.
What was your pick?
I had 2017.
Okay.
You had 2018.
Yeah.
And he had
2019. No.
I had 21-13.
21.
Oh, so Everson wins.
But Everson also had Pick the
Talk
Click.
to me. Talk to me. Talk
Pick
to
the
me.
Click.
Talk to me.
I don't remember what his was.
Yeah, I bet you
DeMarcus
don't.
Lawrence.
I bet you don't.
Yeah.
I bet you don't remember. I am a genius. Didn't you know that, Bill?
That's 2
I'm
weeks
like the
in a
Muhammad
row.
Ali. I am the Muhammad Ali of geniuses.
He's the champ of Pick
That's
the Click.
right. I'm a champ of Pick the Click.
Not one, not two, but 3 sacks for Tank Lawrence last night.
Good to
6
see.
tackles and 3 pressures and
talking to him
tackles
after the
for
game,
losses.
it sounds like he may be okay too
Yeah.
from the
foot.
The foot.
What was it,
injury.
guys? I didn't know exactly what happened.
Well, I mean, after last year,
First thing I thought was not that fifth metatarsal.
the
The way he was sitting there.
Jones fracture.
Yeah.
And so apparently he sounded upbeat.
He came back and played.
Right.
That was good. But boy, they wanted to double, chip, triple team Micah Parsons.
Yeah. You forgot.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
You forgot.
Here
You
I
forgot. That's crazy. You just forget about this guy who was, very accomplished player before Micah Parsons was even thought of.
And he probably had the tweet of the night, by the way. LeBron James tweeted out that Saquon Barkley is back, and DeMarcus Lawrence tweeted L. I thought that was the best one.
Yeah, LeBron's
L.
definitely a Big Ten guy. He's
He's a Cowboy fan, though.
Yeah,
right?
I know, but he was just remarking that, Barkley looked like he's back to being
Which is good to see,
Saquon Barkley.
actually, after those
absolutely.
injuries. Yeah, no doubt about it.
long as
And
they lose.
outside of the one run, they had him bottled up.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, leaked out the 36-yard touchdown run when 2 guys missed tackles.
2 guys missed the tackle.
But, yeah, other than that, 81 yards, take 36 of it, almost half was one run.
See, there's the DeMarcus Lawrence tweet. Yeah.
Nice. That's it.
good.
Just L.
Yeah.
L.
L.
Just L.
When I first saw it, I'm going, what's he doing? And I go, oh, L. You lost.
That's good. And, wow, Cooper Rush just keeps doing what he needs to do,
Yep.
you know? And how about protecting Cooper Rush? How about the contrast in
How
offensive
about
lines?
protecting Cooper Rush?
No sacks, 2 quarterback hits. That's it. And he got pressured a few times.
He always had a lane to throw from.
Right.
I mean, come on. It's like they were scripting just how they need pass protection. Okay, we're going to open up the lane for you right here so you can catch that end cut right there. It's almost like they were scripting that. You can't. That's when you know you're gelling, when you have your line and your quarterback are on that same page. And let's not forget the comeback that's the quickest comeback ever of CeeDee Lamb. Showing what he can do and what kind of leader he needs to be. I was talking with my buddy, and I was saying he needs to grow up. And then I heard Brad Sham say something. When he called his pass, he said that's a big boy touchdown. That's a big boy play. I believe that's what he called it. You got to grow up, man. Let's do this. Don't. There's no time to be shy. There's no time to be undercommitted. I mean, let's go for this. Every play.
What do you think happened to him on that drop? Because it hit him in the chest.
It's like he wasn't ready for it.
Did he not see it?
I don't know.
I was
him in a
thinking,
bad
was
spot.
the sun
He
in
really
his
did.
Was the moon in his eyes?
I don't know what, but the fact that he started laughing out there, I was mad. I was like, man, this is no time to be laughing. Because
But he was laughing at
critical.
how ridiculous it
And
was.
no doubt he was.
At
No doubt
himself.
he was.
It's
No
like,
doubt he was.
how did I not catch that? And it hit him in the chest. And then he makes a one-handed, left-handed, leaning catch for the touchdown.
Which wasn't his biggest catch.
That's
of the
what
night.
I was going to say. It wasn't his biggest catch of the night.
It was pretty important.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the 2 plays earlier was
Right.
even more important. On
Yeah.
4th and 4 at the 41-yard line in the fourth quarter of a tie game, and it wasn't as it was dramatic from that standpoint. It wasn't as theatrical as the one-handed catch. But and the other part of it is with the drop. And he's had other drops this season, and with the question
Last
marks,
season.
and right,
true.
and the question marks of is he wide receiver 1 or not?
Yeah.
Well, how many people were sitting there going or tweeting out at that point in the second quarter of the game when he drops that ball that he's not a wide receiver 1?
No.
Well,
Oh, sure.
they weren't tweeting that in the fourth quarter.
Nope.
On 3
And
out
I
of 4
made sure
plays
I
they go
pointed
to
that
him.
out in my column.
Mm-hmm.
That's like
Everybody's
been
ready to write him
dissing
off.
him, writing him
Ready to
off,
write him off.
and then he comes on and does that and has 4 catches on that drive, including that 4th down, and then that catch. My God, that reminded me watching practice last year, and they were just throwing one-on-ones, right? And he got in the end zone, and it was the same thing, only with his right hand on the right sideline, and just pulled one in. And I looked, and I was going, you kidding me?
Well, that's nothing on Minnesota. Let's just be real, guys. The one he caught from Cooper, if I'm not mistaken, against the Vikings, that was here. No, that was here at home.
No.
I'm talking about the catch that he made in the end zone one-handed that was better than the one he made last night. I'm talking about the one that I don't even know how to explain it. He was laid out backwards, and he caught that one with one hand, also a fade route, if you recall. So, yeah, that's the best catch I've ever seen him make. That was the one last night was nothing on the one that I'm talking about.
Yeah, the big thing last night was being able to get his feet down, too.
Yes.
you know?
Yes, yeah, while he was falling,
Right.
and both feet in, and just the other part of it, and I know he had the drops, but getting open. He was wide-ass open so many times. It's
one
like,
time against a double team.
yeah.
There were 2 men over there covering him on a comeback or a turnout route, and that's what we were talking about when Nate came in here and sat down with us. Wide receivers have to be able to beat double teams. He beat double teams last night. They were keying on him, and he still caught the pass.
Well, obviously, I mean, he was a first-round draft pick. Obviously, the Cowboys, and they were surprised that he would even be there when they picked in the first round that year. But what really solidified their knowledge about him, and for me, just watching him in training camp last year, the day-to-day matchups against Trayvon Diggs.
Right.
I mean, And so these drops, only thing I can think of, it must be just a concentration thing with him, you know, and that's something that you
He's
can.
probably already ahead of himself.
Right.
He was scoring a touchdown.
Yeah.
And a guy who has
In
so
his
much
head.
of his
In his
game.
head.
Well, and a guy who's so much of his game has been yards after catch. If you watched him in college, I mean, just some amazing yards after catch touchdowns when he was at Oklahoma. And so he's thinking, on one in his breadbasket like that, he's thinking, okay, not catching the ball, how do I get to the end zone with this ball?
Yeah,
you know?
like
And
Dez.
so,
It reminded me, last night reminded
Right.
me of Dez.
Yeah.
Some of the plays that he made reminded me of Dez Bryant.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
that was just all guts when he decided to just truck this guy in front of him. To me, that's the attitude he needs to have every game. If you're going to be Dez, if you're going to be the 88s, you got to have this every game. There is no day off. There is no day off. You are a number one guy. Cooper's gone. You have to do this every week. That's what we're going to be. That's what we're looking for from you.
And guess how old he is?
22.
23.
That's a lot for a young man, but he's got to do it.
But he's got
do
to,
it.
and he came through in the clutch,
He
and that
sure
was
did.
kind of the game, right?
That was the game.
Jerry Jones was talking this morning about Cooper Rush and the things you see him do, but he said the key thing is he does it in the critical situations.
Yes.
And he goes in, you don't know that until you see it.
Until you get in that critical
And now you've
situation.
seen it three times, winning all three of his starts with drives in the last, fourth quarter.
It's how you win.
Of either lose a
Yeah.
game you're behind
Yeah.
or a game you're tied, and he
right.
drives them down. Not once for a touchdown, but then a field goal too to kind of cushion things.
Along those lines, you know how many teams in the league this weekend, week 3, scored 30 or more points?
I saw your text to me, like two.
Two teams scored 30 or more points. Okay, it was Baltimore and Jacksonville at the Chargers. Okay, Baltimore at 37, Jacksonville at 38. All right, through the first 3 weeks of this season, only 13 times has a team scored 30 or more points in a game. Contrast that to last year, through 3 weeks, it was 29 times, so more than twice as many. The COVID year in 2020, 39 times the first 3 weeks of the season that a team scored 30 or more points. My point on that is if you can do what Cooper Rush is doing, take care of the football. Not just
let
Cooper
your
Rush,
deep
but I'm
play.
talking about the offensive line protecting the quarterback. I think what's happening, what we're seeing around the league here, and we saw it with the Giants, even though they've spent high first-round draft picks on offensive tackles the last couple of years, they can't protect the quarterback. He's got 5 sacks last night, 25 quarterback pressures last night, I think is what the number was. But anyway, I think across the league, you're seeing offensive line, the injuries in the offensive line, schemes on defense. Teams are not scoring points. And so you can't judge Cooper Rush on how many points this team is scoring. It's whether they're winning football games is how you judge him, and him not turning the football over.
Last year,
Having said all that, I was just looking at. I was just amazed of the close games starting in week 1, and I kind of just perused it a little bit, but there were. Let's play yesterday or this week of playing. There were only, I believe, 2 teams that won by more than two scores.
That's because these games are so low scoring.
Every
That's
game,
right.
they had 3 the week before, and I think week 1 they had another 3. Only 2-score game. A 2-score game that could hinge on making a 4th down or not, just one turnover or not. So all games are within reach, until that crucial moment.
Was it the Thursday night game last week? I mean, it became a 2-score game only because on the last play of the game they scored. Whatever.
Right.
But I mean, we had an 11-10 game on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Rodgers goes up against Brady. It's a 14-12 game.
Right.
Mahomes was held to 17
That's
points
right.
by Indianapolis, and so it's across the league. Team, unless you're Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts.
Right. Yeah, those
The offense and Trevor Lawrence. By the way, teams aren't scoring many
no,
points.
they're not. And you know what? I left my standings at home. It's only a handful of teams that are averaging more than like 25 points a game, and there was more, averaging not even 20 points a game. Like they haven't scored 60 points.
This is like we're watching December football in September.
That's right.
Yeah.
Normally, the offenses are ahead of the defenses this time of the year. It's good weather, whatever. These are like cold weather games where
Because no one's playing those 3 preseason games, or very few are. They're not practicing that much in training camp the way they used to, and I think there's no excuse of COVID anymore.
I wonder if the penalties have piled up more so because of what we're alluding to right now as far as lack of practices and lack of preseason.
Well, and so it's affecting the offenses. I mean, you can compare it to 2020. Okay, 39 times in the first 3 weeks, teams scored 30 or more points. Okay, 39 of the 96 teams that went on the field scored 30 or more points in that COVID year. And think about it, defenses were, they had no time. They were doing Zooms, and they had no time on the field to put any schemes together, basically.
It's like the defensive has surpassed the offenses all of a sudden. And it makes sense, right? If the offense doesn't have enough time to prepare, and the defense is grinding, that's exactly what's taken place. And so that is why if you can play well defensively and you score your 20-something,
Don't turn it over.
Don't turn it over. Jimmy Johnson's line of demarcation for winning is if I can hold a team to no more than 17 points, I should be able to muster up enough points to win a game.
And that's why the Giants won their game last week against Carolina.
Right.
Was the first 2 series of the game. Carolina fumbled the opening kickoff, and then they fumbled on their first possession. Now, they only turned it into 6 points, but that's taken the football away from Carolina. And they won it by 3 points.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So that was a difference.
And just, I got time to get this off my chest.
Or you can tease it.
The penalties. God. I almost had to go grab my white hat last night.
Or the lack thereof.
The penalties.
The lack thereof.
Next here on a Victory Tuesday edition of Mick Shots.
Yeah.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
What do you call a group of grown men and women with their faces painted silver and blue who get together every week to share a 3-hour-long ritual of jumping, singing, and toasting Miller Lite in 10-gallon hats while yelling, "How about them Cowboys?" You call it Miller Time in Dallas. Here's to the Cowboys. Here's to the original light beer. It's Miller Time. Celebrate responsibly. 2021 Miller Brewing Company, Fort Worth, Texas.
Back to Mick Shots.
K-Post Roofing and Waterproofing, proud partner of the Dallas Cowboys. From corporate homes to your home, have your roof checked by choice, not by chance. Call now, 214-225-4860, kpostcompany.com.
All right, we're wrapping up what happened on Monday night. And as you all know, last play of the game, Trayvon Diggs came up with the interception, and the official word out of New York, Sterling Shepard on that play, the Giants wide receiver, suffered a torn ACL.
I knew it.
And it was non-contact.
Non-contact.
Right. Yeah.
When you see a guy come up lame like that, just running.
Yeah, that's usually what that is.
And plus, he's coming off of so many different
God,
he had
injuries,
he's
man.
got the
God.
Achilles was the last one, yeah, and it's such a great guy too.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was cool seeing. I mean, because it happened on the last play of the game, and handshakes all around, and all the players from both teams coming up to.
I knew his family pretty well.
Yeah.
Which high school?
Heritage Hall in Oklahoma City is what high school he went to. He's
okay.
Oklahoma City, and and of course his dad Derek played for the Cowboys and tragically passed away when Sterling was probably 4 or 5 years old. He was playing racquetball. He was a coach at University of Wyoming, and suffered a heart attack.
I talked to him about that when I interviewed him at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, and my daughter actually is good friends with him in college at OU, and just he's a great guy, and so you just hate to see that.
I think his mom died as well.
I'm not sure, but
I used to know him.
But anyway, and in fact, Derek Shepard, he was in I think he worked at OU, and then Stoops got the job in '99, and Derek went to Wyoming as a coach at that point.
Yeah.
And so then Derek passed away, and as the story goes, Bob Stoops became friends with the Shepard family and was sort of a mentor to Sterling growing up and stuff. And it was cool when Sterling then played at OU for Stoops. So
he got nicknamed Shep Dog when he was with the Cowboys.
Derek, yeah.
I remember walking through the racquetball courts one day at the ranch, and they had 3 people, and he looked at me and he goes, "Come on, man, you're my partner." I go, "I don't have any tennis shoes."
He was a lot of fun.
Right? I said, "I don't have any tennis shoes." He goes, "That's okay. Just take your shoes. Come in here and play on your stocking feet." Right? He was so good, we won.
Well, and the Shepard family is pretty legendary in West Texas high school football. Woody Shepard and Darryl Shepard and Odessa. And so, anyway, hate to see that for Sterling Shepard. But how about Trayvon Diggs? He gets an interception.
Yes.
It was just good to see Trayvon was back in the game.
Well, when I first saw the replay, I was like, "Oh, the ball hit the ground." And then they showed it again. I go, "No, it hit his hands and bounced."
Yeah,
up.
that was a heck of a catch.
Right?
Because Daniel Jones throws missiles.
Yes.
Does he know how to just?
There's only one speed.
Yeah. Does he know how to just throw a regular touch pass? Because in order for Diggs to make that happen, I mean that the point of that ball hit right on his fingers.
Yeah.
And I just knew that it had hit the ground first, but no, that was a heck of a play, and not just that play. He had like 3 passes defended. And, no, they're really, as a defense, they're really starting to play together well. We give up something, but someone always covers for someone else. I just love how they look as a unit. It's not just individuals. If Parsons doesn't do something, then D-Law's doing something. Barr still, even with the missed tackle, still came through with a hell of a game. Had made a lot of plays.
Armstrong.
Donovan Armstrong.
And then Donovan Wilson.
Yeah.
Oh,
my. Man, this guy's out of his mind, man. He's playing out of his mind. I'm loving it.
So here, and I was sitting there, and I know the pass rush gets all the credit, right? They were smothering their wide receivers.
Yes,
Some of
they were.
those were coverage things.
Yes, they were.
Especially the ones he was running out. Now, hopefully they learned that lesson, that it's not all about the sack. You got to keep the guy in the pocket.
I thought they were going to have Donovan as a spy the whole game.
Well, they started to do it late in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
But he ran for 79 yards.
He sure did. And that guy he's fast.
No, and he's fearless.
Right. I would call it, I don't know, fearless would be the word. A little bit unwitting, I think. I don't know.
Well, we'll just take the case of the one down the sideline when they gave him the 15-yard penalty for the late hit. Hey, when you're jumping up in the air and your foot's not out of bounds yet, you're fair game.
That's correct.
Because you can reach the ball out, right, and try to get more yards.
They talked about that this offseason. They keep trying to tiptoe down the sidelines.
Yeah.
The more you do that, then the more leverage, the more leeway we're going to give the defense.
Yeah, you're a running back now, and they give him a 15-yard penalty on that.
How about the PI? Let's talk about it then. Here it is. This is your time to rant about these doggone referees. Crazy, man. I mean, the Brown play on the goal line, the PI. It was a PI that was never called.
The guy tackled him.
Come on, man. I mean, come on, man.
You know, when the guy in the box is it John Perry doing the TV for the officials, right? When he can see it, right?
He just
where's the buzz
it.
down?
He just outright said it.
Yes,
that's a pass.
They tackled him.
That's right.
Or the time they two guys tackled Brown from getting off the line of scrimmage. It's one thing to hit him, but you can't grab him. If a defensive guy had done that, they would have called. I mean, they normally call holding on a defensive guy.
And then you look at CeeDee Lamb gets called for a push-off, against Tampa. So these are the kind of things where if I'm CeeDee Lamb, I'm very confused.
And then how about the personal foul on Donovan Wilson for batting the ball? Now, he thought the guy was punking him. Throwing the ball at him. The referee was behind.
No idea.
And why's that guy got his panties in a wad? I mean, come on. Can't he see what happened? The guy threw the ball, and he's like, I'll swat that away, too.
Right.
He was swatting everything else away.
Right.
And by the way, that is more of a delay of game penalty than an unsportsmanlike conduct.
That just lets you know.
Which would be a 5-yard penalty instead
That's why
of a 15-yard
he talked about the placing of his underwear, because that was all about something that was going on in his head.
Pissed him off, right? Like, he's dissing me. It's like, no, he didn't know you were behind him. Nope. That's like ridiculous. They don't get paid per flag.
Or maybe they do.
Somehow the penalty evened up in that game. They each had 8. Somehow. Yep. I'm not sure how.
All right. So let's. You mentioned Donovan Wilson. I mean, Jaron Kearse goes down with an injury, and obviously there was a need. Now Wilson was already starting and playing a lot. But that role is one that had to be filled, and Donovan Wilson's filling it with flying colors.
Yeah, but see, Kearse was playing more of a kind of linebacker.
It's almost
like a monster. We call it a monster.
This guy, this 2 games in a row, he's played 100% of the snaps. And at first he's lining up in the back with Hooker. Well, then they had McQuamu in there, and they even had Bell in there.
I saw that. He made his first tackle.
One play on defense.
He made his first tackle.
And he made a tackle.
Yeah.
On defense.
He had one play, one tackle. Defensive
great rate.
That's pretty good. One for one, right? I like his participation rate. But then they started using him to spy. Like, okay, let's cut this out, right? All that running.
That's the thing. It's his versatility.
Yeah.
That's his
11 tackles. I mean, his line was amazing again. And I think he knows this is a contract year for him, too.
But, when you're coming off that injury, he was so hungry.
Yeah.
Because 2 years ago, he was laying some pipe on.
He's been showing this all along.
When he came, I remember the Minnesota Vikings receiver coming across the middle. And he hurt himself then, but he wasn't coming out the game. I mean, you're talking about knowing how to hit somebody. It's not just going in and just attacking. He knew how to hit, where to meet the receiver, knock the ball out. It's just how you play it.
When I did the interview with Harold Nash in training camp, because he ended up being the winner of the off-season workout awards. Like, they picked 13 guys, but he was the MVP of the 13. And he said, just the way he plays, how hard he hits, that's what causes the injuries he has. Because and that's
He's
what's
not
happened.
that big.
That's what happened through his entire career. That it was always injuries that kind of kept him off the field. And last year he played with that groin that needed surgery right after the season was over. And Harold talked about how he never went home. He stayed here immediately after surgery and did all the off-season work. And they ended up coming up with an award for the guy that was the best in the off-season, making gains in work and team team type of guy. They called it the golden whistle. And he got this gold chain with a little golden whistle on it. And when they took the picture at training camp, he took a picture with Harold Nash and kind of holding it out like this. So
does it work?
Does it? No, I don't think it's like a charm.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, yeah, that's
not
2
a
games in a
Rolex
row.
watch.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Not Rolex. No. Bob Brunick's got
But
that
by
Rolex.
the way, one of the awards they all get is a specially cooked meal by the chef here. And last Thursday, I think it was, Wednesday or Thursday, they all got a special table and had their
did they
meal.
say what they had?
I didn't see what they had, but it was
good.
it was
And I haven't
decorated
eaten
like
today yet.
this was
Golly.
somebody's biggie.
I got a steak waiting for me at home as soon as I get there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, when we come back here on Mick Shots, can you have a much better first play as a Dallas Cowboy than one of the newest Cowboys had in last night's game when we come back?
We paid how much for those lessons?
Shh, she's doing great.
Oh, yeah, totally. Can you pass me a Pepsi Zero Sugar? Great job, honey! Oh, look at that. That's not the end.
No way. Now it's time for the encore.
You know what? You're right. 5 times? Not enough times.
For everyone who traded in rock concerts for their kids' recitals, you've compromised enough. Pepsi Zero Sugar. That's what I like.
Nobody protects you from mayhem like Allstate. You hear that? I'm a torrential downpour. Torrential? What's that even mean? It means you can't see out of your windshield. And if you have the wrong car insurance, you might have to make it rain to fix your bumper. So switch to Allstate, save money, and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Based on coverage and limits selected, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Allstate Bar and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
The Medal of Honor is our country's highest military award for valor in combat. More than 40 million individuals have served in the armed forces since the Civil War. Fewer than 4,000 have received the Medal of Honor. The National Medal of Honor Museum will be a place to preserve these legacies and inspire America. It's being built right next door to the Dallas Cowboys in Texas. Help us honor our country's greatest heroes. Learn more and get involved at mohmuseum.org.
The season is finally here. For months, we've been gearing up to win. Now it's time for the team that performs on any field, United Ag and Turf. With John Deere zero turns for mowing, compact tractors for loading, mini excavators for digging, Gator utility vehicles for hauling, implements for grading, hay tools for baling. United Ag and Turf, for winning. The official Ag and Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com for more. Back to Mick Shots.
Limited single-game tickets for the 2022 Dallas Cowboys season at AT&T Stadium are now available. Visit DallasCowboys.com/tickets or SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
All right, so 40-year-old Jason Peters enters the game on the third offensive series for the Cowboys. And Mickey, were you pleased with his first play?
I was very pleased with his first play since he was recognizing that since nobody was right in front of me, I might just go get that linebacker and just smash the daylights out of it. And right along with him, Tyler Smith seals out the edge, and there was a hole Everson Walls could walk
How
through.
about Big Tyler, man?
Huh?
Tyler. How about Big Tyler? This guy's balling.
He is.
He is balling. He is balling. I'm loving this, man. He is handling this business.
So on that play, Tony, which started at the 37-yard line, Tony Pollard goes for 46 yards all the way to the Giants' 17-yard line.
It was a huge hole, and boy, he scooted through it, right? And they kind of did what they said they were going to do with Peters. He ended up playing 14 snaps. So I'm guessing 2 series, right? They didn't want to overdo it. They ain't gonna. Everybody's, he's gonna start. And it's like, no, he's not starting, but they're gonna get him in there and just kind of get his feet wet. But I would expect if McGovern's still out, those 2 series may become 4. Mm-hmm. Especially early on, Forniak struggled. He's better when he's on the move.
I thought he did well.
Yeah.
Like I said, early on, maybe, but I thought he ended the game very well. He did a good job out there. I saw him sealing people off. You know, especially on Zeke's run, I believe it was. He did a very good job. It was good to see Zeke. He looked about 10 pounds lighter yesterday when he was in the open. It was good to see that.
No, he ran well. That was my pick to click, and then Pollard outdid him.
Well, you did good. He still did well.
No.
5 yards a carry?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they weren't like clean runs either, like he was, breaking out in the open.
Nope.
So, yeah, the running game worked. They kind of stopped the run, which I thought was important, and they improved on third down conversions. They were at 24%.
Yeah.
I think yesterday it ended up 38%.
All right. Speaking of third down, I got to bring it up. 3rd and 1. I think it's the second to last possession.
When they threw the ball?
Yeah. Why?
That was the one that Brown got held on? Was that it?
Oh, you're talking about the tight end, the Ferguson?
Oh, yeah.
Out of bounds?
Yeah, I know we just did.
Oh, the last.
We did.
That was the last
Was
possession.
it the last possession?
Yeah, the last.
That wasn't
full
3rd and 1.
possession.
That was 3rd and 7.
No,
So
we had
third.
the
And,
third.
3rd and 1. Yeah, you're 3rd and 1,
one.
second to last possession.
Yes,
that's
second
right.
to last possession. You know,
And that's where they held Noah Brown.
you got to run that ball. You just got. We already ran it like 2 times before that, if I'm not mistaken, for nice.
You know what I
yardage.
think that they were trying to do there?
Tell me, please.
I think they were trying to get the call. Because where was Noah lined up? He was more in.
Oh, he was in.
He
was tight.
He was in, tight.
Yeah.
And he was releasing to go on a pass.
Yes,
And
and you had
so
the cornerback
I think
was on the outside.
it might be an offensive scheme where you don't have to complete the pass, you get the call, and you get the first down.
Mm-hmm.
Where, okay, it's like he's blocking, and so they're going to engage him, but he's actually releasing, and I think it
fooled the referee because they seemed to think that it was
or
they
the
acted as
referee
if it
thought
was running.
or the referee thought, no, you're trying to fool me with that play. We're not going to give it
Give
to
me
you.
a break,
You
man.
know?
Come on.
But I think that might be
Why be cute
an
right there, Bill? Why be cute right there?
No, it was two different. You guys, two different. You meshed two different.
Okay.
plays.
Okay.
So 3rd and 1 was at the 26.
And we ended
That's
up,
what I'm talking about.
That was after Turpin's return.
We ended up kicking the field
And
goal.
it was 3rd and 1, and they held Brown.
Yeah.
Right.
But the other one, the pass to Ferguson.
Yeah, I
we're good.
I
We're good on that.
misidentified
We're good
that
on
one.
that.
We're
Yeah.
talking about the same
we're good
play
on that.
here.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought at the time, that I think it might be like an offensive coordinator's ploy to get a call from the official.
You got to stop being cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just making that up. I have no
understand.
idea.
Whatever
I mean,
whatever it is, it doesn't make sense to me because right now you are controlling the line of scrimmage. It's yours. They can't stop us in any way. And now you want to try and be cute on the 3rd and 1. If you make the 3rd and 1, the clock will continue to run, even if you don't make the touchdown on that drive. You still can kick the field goal, and there's even less time on the clock.
You know, with these new age offensive coordinators,
He's killing me with this. You said DNA? It's in his DNA?
They've got
killing me, man.
I've seen this at the college level too, even high school level, where there are some tricks in their tool bag where they can
save it.
Where they can
save it.
Where they can get a call from an official on a play like on a 3rd and short to get the first down, they don't have to complete the pass.
They made things unnecessarily dramatic because now they get the ball back with what, 3 something?
Because how many yards have you run for this game?
No,
170 plus. Yeah.
Zeke had run for 5
and for 4
Yeah.
And it's 3rd and 1 at the 26.
And now you want this? Come on,
they were going for the kill shot.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you, but I think that might have been what they were doing.
Us in the ass, I promise you.
Well, I was wondering if he'd go for it on 4th and 1. Because that's why he called a pass on 3rd and 1.
Yeah, you got 2 plays to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they kicked the field goal like you should have.
I think it took a little discussion.
Too many discussions. Just keep running the ball.
And by the way, how about Maurer, too? I mean, okay, he
Jim
missed.
Maurer?
No.
Maurer. Okay.
Maurer.
Yeah.
Maurer.
He's balling. No, he's balling.
I mean, 3 field goals and all the extra points, and the miss
He
was
almost-
from 59,
I know.
and he hit it.
He hit it. It went straight.
For some reason,
went
it
straight.
started fluttering to the left. I didn't understand what happened because he hit it right down the middle.
It could be.
And it was long enough.
Yeah. No.
You know, Gano, the Giants kicker, was kind of doing the same thing. But I'm saying making these field goals except for one field goal in the game.
They both
that
came
one was,
in.
That
They
one
both
was
came
blocked.
in.
Dorrance
Armstrong with the
Wow.
block.
What do we have here, guys? Is this?
I mean,
is this just
special
an aberration? Is this an
special
aberration?
teams.
Is this guy just going to start blowing up all of a sudden?
And Turpin came.
And by the way, Turpin
within a diving punter. Grabbed his ankle tackle from going 63 for a touchdown, but he's the one that set up that possession
That's
there
true.
that we were just talking about.
And
he's going to break one.
But see, that was if you were going to lay out a scheme or a game plan, that's how you do it. Defense keeps him down so that you can have room for him to return. And he's going to return. He's going to give us a short field.
And
That's
he
best case
makes
scenario
and he
in every
makes good decisions too.
Yes.
He's not reckless. Like he'll call a fair catch,
Mhm.
right? Not to just have a chance to run it. And I remember talking to him and after the preseason game and said something about, well, cat's out of the bag. The punts are all going to go to the sideline, right?
Mhm.
They're going to pin you over there. And he goes, yeah, I got ways to get away from that. And he got away from it that time. The other one he let bounce, and it was going out of bounds, right? And then it hugged the sideline.
that?
How does that happen?
Hell of a
15
kick. That was a hell of a
yards
kick.
worth, right?
That was a hell of a kick.
He didn't plan that bounce that way. Better than, what was it, the Buffalo game when the Miami punter kicked the guy, his up guy, right in the back.
You know, that happened
Thomas
to,
Morstead.
That happened to Eugene Lockhart when he was with the Patriots.
Really?
Yeah. He was done with the Cowboys. He went to the Patriots. He was on his way out, and he was a punt protector, and it happened just like that.
Kicked him right in the butt.
Kicked him right in the butt.
But anyway, special teams, got to give it to them
yeah.
now. And, and they had to sort through that to get the kicker they chose, right? And so far, Meyer's been money.
Okay, so how about those rookie tight ends?
I'm glad you said that. God, I'm confused. Who's 89? Who's 89?
Hendershot?
Peyton Hendershot.
He was balling, man. This guy's got he's got some spunk in him, right?
Yep.
He
I like Ferguson too. I mean, both those guys were 4-year starters in the Big Ten. Peyton Hendershot was at Indiana, and Jake Ferguson at Wisconsin. Little different types, but they've got the same type history, and they've got the same type attitude, and just they're guys that you want to have on your team. And they play all the special teams,
He didn't want to go out of bounds.
Right.
He caught the ball.
Right.
He didn't want to go out.
Now, Ferguson's a better blocker.
Yeah.
Hendershot's a more he's almost like a tweener wide receiver type, kind of a new age tight end type. And but Ferguson lined up at fullback on the touchdown run, and he made a good block there.
How about Zeke, man? Taking the blow and continuing. I mean, and he took the blow from 48. I mean, that was this guy beating in on him. Zeke saw it coming. He knew it was going to come. He put his head down and just bounced right off of that.
So
thing.
that's the mix you're looking for at running back, right?
Yes.
Last night,
absolutely.
That was the mix you're looking for.
Thunder and
you
lightning.
saw a little bit last week too, but it was more running the ball this time with Pollard.
And back to the Hendershot.
Yeah.
No, he was undrafted. Should have been at least a 5th round pick. At least, I was told. The tight ends coach loves him. And
he's got to love both those guys.
And evidently he had an ankle something when he went to the combine. And people got scared of the injury, or not injury, whatever defect he had in there. And so that's why he went undrafted, I was told.
Cowboys benefited from a very deep tight end class in this rookie class. Indianapolis, Jelani Woods scored 2 touchdowns for them on Sunday. He was like a 4th round.
Tight end is going to take over the league.
And, because the Cowboys knew
take over the league.
Cowboys knew how much they had a need for tight ends because Blake Jarwin had gone down. Okay, and you got Schultz going into his franchise year. They knew they were going to tag him whether he was already tagged, and so you don't know whether you've got him next year or not. And so they had to come up with at least one tight end, and they got two. And they didn't have to do it on the first or second day of the draft. They were able to on the third day. And I know on the second day they were trying like crazy to get a tight end, but it didn't work out. But on that third day, and they it was late fourth round before Ferguson. There were a bunch of tight ends that were coming off the board right when that happened. And good ones too.
And he doesn't mind blocking. That's why, before the game, everybody was worried about if Michael Gallup's going to play, if Peter's going to play. Yeah. I said, no, the biggest worry is Schultz, because if he doesn't go, you got two rookies that are basically your top two tight ends, and then you're going to have to bring up a third, McEwen, which they did from the practice squad. And so now you got two rookies in a practice squatter at tight end.
But those aren't typical rookies. Now, Ferguson shouldn't have gone out of bounds on that play, but he got carried out of bounds, and he knows he's supposed to stay in bounds there. He was trying to get the first down, and then they just swept him out of bounds.
Well, to me,
but they had five.
Somebody had
catches.
to have said something,
right?
But, okay, first of all,
they could have yelled at him at the sideline.
Why run a play that's going to put him over there to the sideline?
That's right.
So that was kind of weird. Sometimes we just get in our own way.
Especially a rookie tight end.
Yeah. If nothing else, like, hey, man, I'm going to throw you the ball.
Who's had the football in his hands now twice in the NFL?
He's excited.
And he's thinking first down, right? I'm going to put this game away.
That's right. That's exactly what he was trying to do.
But they had 5 catches for 56 yards, and I thought they did a decent job blocking when they were in 2 tight ends, right? And you mentioned
Ferguson
at fullback. Yeah.
Let's face it, guys. A road win is a road win.
Yes.
And a division win too. That was a big win. To me, that was as big as the Patriots win last year. Just showing that you could do it.
It wasn't easy either.
It wasn't easy, but you showed you could do it. I don't know what the Giants could end up being. They could drop the rest of their games from here on. But it would be if they do, it would be because of how we beat them last night.
Kind of beat them at their own game.
We did.
Physical, defense.
In the trenches.
Right.
They couldn't handle us in the
Cowboys
trenches.
have a better team than the Giants.
That's all there is to it. Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought going into it.
Yeah.
Now,
but we had to play better.
Can you play that way?
Can we play better? That's the thing.
Play to your talent.
To me, this was
even with all the guys they have missing, too, by the way.
This was to me, I thought we made a stride in regards to gut check. We needed that.
And the Cowboys have a better team than the next opponent, too. They need to take care
they were going to get their poor quarterback carried off on a stretcher. Right from the start.
Poor Wentz. Poor Wentz.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's typical. You say, the quarterback can't play. The quarterback, whether it's Wentz, whether it's Daniel Jones last night, Now, they may not be able to play, but they got no chance to play.
And, hey, we know how it feels when your quarterback is under duress and you're like, what the hell can we do? Nothing.
Well, this team keeps overcoming their shortcomings. And I noticed something the other day. I don't know.
Make it quick because we're 3 minutes over here.
How soon it was. Real quick.
My steak's waiting
on the facade, the second floor facade, when you walk from the locker room to the training table where they eat meals, there's a collage of pictures up on the facade of the second floor. And it's got all kind of different pictures, and in big capital letters it says resilience. That's what this team's been so far. They've been very resilient. And that's been
how long has that sign been there?
I think it's new because I just noticed it last week.
Well, Coach McCarthy told me that was the theme of the week, resilience.
Well, it's the theme of the year because they passed out a little coin that had resilience
I want to say
on
that I guess he stressed it even more this week.
Yeah, well, and they were.
Yeah. All right, and by the way, I got this note. We talked about the scoring in the league. The scoring is the lowest in the league since 2010.
They got you an average?
No, I don't have.
It's just the note.
Just got a text that says,
I wanted a number.
Yeah, I'm sure it's out there now. All right, that does it for this edition of Mick Shots, and we'll talk at you again tomorrow at noon.
Go Cowboys.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.